Good morning. I'm back home and I keep thinking about this project. I've seen some people do gratitude journals. I have kept a gratitude journal myself. I have never done a 30-day gratitude journal just for 1 month. It's an interesting concept, and I was thinking, how could I break it down into a little journal? So I started with one of these Dollar Tree placemats. I thought this one's pretty, or dollar store, I'm sorry. I thought this one is pretty, and I think if I cut it right, I can get 4 journals out of this. So I cut it about what I think is down the middle, and then I'm going to cut it down the middle again. So these miniatures, these journals will actually be miniature. So I'm not going to cut them all, but I am going to cut this one, which is a little over, let me see, it's not quite 11.5 inches. So I'm going to cut this at, I'm going to actually just make a mark. You know what? Because my math skills are not the best, I'm going to fold it in half and then just cut it right there, because that's how I roll. And I want this to be an easy, quick project. I don't want it to be complicated, and so I am not sewing in these. These are going to be bound in with elastic bands that you can buy very cheaply at Joann's. And, well, the point is to be grateful, not to spend all our days making it, right? But I think it's a really fun project. I think that you can look back on older gratitude journals, and sometimes when you're just feeling down and ick, you can look at it and go, yep, you know what? I have a lot to be thankful for. So these little corners are sharp. This is not my favorite corner rounder, just because it doesn't always stay exactly in the middle. But I am going to round these corners because this plastic placemat, depending on, well, all of the plastic placemats I've been using in my projects as of late are sharp. So on the corners when you cut them, so make sure that you round those corners after you. So this placemat is actually just cut in half and then in half again exactly. Now these I got on summer closeout. I keep saying Dollar Tree, but I actually got one of these either at the Family Dollar or the Dollar General. Oh, actually all of them. I didn't buy any of the Dollar Tree ones, but that's just because they had the summer closeout and they were like 50 or 75 cents. Okay, so last one. So the problem with my paper is all 12 by 12, but what I did was I picked out a bunch of fun and colorful papers that I thought would look pretty in the journal. It's not so much about the papers or the theme of the journal as it is using it every day and reminding ourselves of what continues to bless us every day. So that corner is weird, isn't it? Oh well. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pick our papers, and I've decided if you have 30 days in the month that we should do 3 signatures, and each signature should be fairly small. So if you use 1 page per day, then we could basically use 8.5 by 11 paper. My problem is some of this has a top and a bottom. So if I cut this down to 8.5 by 11, and then I cut it in half again and turn it sideways, my writing is going to be sideways. So I actually want to cut it long ways, or what they call landscape, right? So instead of, so that way this part is my 8.5. And this part, I'll cut 1 inch off. And then when I cut these in half and turn them, they can have a top and a bottom. So we're going to do that first. We're going to cut these down to 8.5 before I forget what I'm doing and cut them wrong. So we're going to cut this one first. Right? So if I cut it here and then I cut it here, yeah. And then this will be folded in half. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so I need 8.5. So let's do, actually, I'm going to make it just a hair smaller so it doesn't stick out if the journal gets a little bulky. So I'm actually going to cut it down to exactly, oh no, that would be the top. So I can do 8.5. Let me make sure. Yeah. So if we cut it this way and then this way, exactly half of that would be, yeah, that would be the folded part. Okay, I'm going to go back to 8. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to sound. So I'm going to cut along the side, if it's an up and down pattern, at 8 inches. Then I'm going to cut 1 inch off of the top. So it'll be like an 8 by 11, right? Okay. And then I'm going to do the same with all of my papers so that they're 8.5 by 11. Then what I'll do is I'll cut the 11 in half again, which will be at the 5.5 mark, which should be the same size as, or a little bit smaller than, our journal. You know what? It is almost exactly the same. Okay, so we will do all of our papers like that. Now, when they are put into the journal with an elastic band in several signatures, what we'll have is this little miniature journal. So I am going to end this video here so that I can cut up all the paper I want to use in this. And right now, I'm going to make 2. So that way, or maybe just 1. I don't know, but I'm going to cut up all of this paper because I found some really fun, colorful kind of paper to use in it. So I thought, well, let me cut these up, and then that way I won't be on camera the whole time. So I'm going to end this here. I may run these through the printer and just print some lines on the back. I think that would be fun too. So I will be back. This is Dana. Thanks for watching.